I stopped. I could have kept going, but I stopped. So enjoy the weather, and I don't think the world is ending. Rick Kupchella is with us. Rick was a longtime Carol Evan TV news reporter, has been involved in numerous enterprises since then. But you now, sir, have a new documentary coming out called what?
Precarious State.
And that airs Thursday night.
It does. Right.
On ABC stations.
ABC stations.
Including here.
Including here.
Is there a reason it's only ABC stations?
Well, I've found, based on my prior experience, that if you can stick with one network and there are changes under network rules,
right,
at least it's all going to be the same, and I'm not dealing with a bunch of different network rules.
And this is an hour-long documentary.
Yeah, it's going to run from 7 to 8, and no commercial breaks, straight through.
Give us the short version of what it's about. Then I'm going to grill you.
Okay, so it's really, I'm scared.
Don't be. You shouldn't be.
No, it's this is really. I mean, it started as honestly a pet project, just trying to figure out. I mean, people always say in the news days, "How'd you get the idea for that story? Mm-hmm. How'd you get the idea for doing that?" You know, and the answer has always been just paying attention.
Right.
You know, paying attention to what's happening around us.
Which many Minnesotans are not doing.
Oh, I think that's very true. They certainly, I think they do not fully, I don't think they even, not only do they not fully appreciate what's happening here right now, but I think a lot of them are just detached.
Uninformed.
And in this day with all this media, the idea of it's not more knowledge, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. It's like a major distraction game, right? Mm-hmm. And there's so much reality anchored around what we're facing at the moment in terms of crime, in terms of economic development, okay, in terms of education, these kind of fundamental elements of society that are in this market, in this state, mm-hmm. in measurable decline, not just relative to ourselves, but relative to most of the rest of the country today.
Is it pretty much focused on the Twin Cities?
This hour looks, I'd say, think of it as about 80%. Cities centric. Right. This is the engine of the state.
Right.
Okay. 80% cities focused, and about 20% it is state focused.
All right. Does the documentary focus primarily, when it gets to the cities, on Minneapolis?
It over-indexes on Minneapolis. Okay. Yes.
And is there a point at which you think Minneapolis was not in a precarious situation, and from that point has flowed to this direction? Did you pick it? Do you have a time in mind when you thought Minneapolis was healthy?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer that question in the context of all the people I've been talking to, and many of them, and these are all kinds of citizens and business owners in this community that talk about, 18 going into 19, feeling like best of times, mm-hmm. right? When I started talking to people about this initially, I'd called friends of mine, mostly in business, mm-hmm. and I would just say, come on down, I was going to have lunch, we're mm-hmm. going to go on a walk, mm-hmm. okay? Just going to go on a walk through town. And I want you to tell me what you see. Mm-hmm. How do you describe what you're looking at here? Because to me, it looks beyond precarious, right? It looks very unhealthy.
Right.
Right? And I got a lot of, these are smart people, okay? I swear. I know them. I trust them. I'd take their advice on damn near anything, okay? And they're saying things like, this is what post-pandemic malaise looks like all over the country. Mm-hmm. This is what work from home does to downtowns everywhere. And I listened to this for a little while, maybe a week. And I started really pushing back and going, okay, come on. You still travel, right? You go some other place. You're not only here, all right? I mean, other places are not really experiencing what this looks like. It isn't. They aren't. And that just got me to start digging, It just fell back into old school dog mm-hmm. with bone, mm-hmm. What can I find here that measures the contextual reality in a meaningful way that could help us. And initially I thought I might write an article on this or something. That's what I thought. And the more I started digging into it, the more stuff I was finding, and it became breathtaking.
I'm
really.
glad you pushed back, because I do think working from home has a role in the decline, and I do think the pandemic has a role in decline, but by no means do I think it's the root cause of the decline. And I'm tired of hearing that the pandemic is used for an excuse for everything. Do you examine the political decline?
Yes.
Including the governor?
Yeah,
Because he might be the worst governor in the United States.
Yeah. Well, I love your. Yeah. What's the
Your
piece
thoughts.
that you got out? The pieces you got out. This may be the first time in history. You said the other day that we have a governor
you
that's
have a
running
governor
against the
who's running
president.
for governor of Minnesota against the president of the United States.
Yeah. That's
Because he had nothing else to do or say. He's been a complete failure.
I mean, I looked at that. I thought that is fantastic characterization and contextualization of what's happening. And it's about as wild out there, as much of what you're going to see in this doc.
And we've also elected professional activists who are politicians in the city council in both towns. And I don't know. I'm anxious to see this documentary. I'm anxious to see how this is all captured, because I don't know what the future holds. Do you attempt to draw that conclusion, what the future holds?
Well, I've been struck by the number of people that reach out on social and other places. And, I'm laying out very specific stats of WTF, right? What? This does not end well unchecked, right? And I get answers back like, well, you're going to talk about all the good things that are working, right? You're going to talk about them. And I haven't really engaged with that very much. I mean, there is definitely hope in this story, but that hope only has a chance if the public has a clue what's going on.
How would you account for the public becoming so disengaged? What has happened to the public?
Well, I would say, it's intimately tied. Okay, you're asking my opinion here.
Yeah.
It's intimately tied to what I think is what's happening with media, right? This is a transition that is going to outlast both of us, right? I mean, that's just a fact. And I don't think people fully appreciated. I mean, when I left CARE in 2009, I was just saying to management, I don't see where we're going. By and large, a lot of the particularly video media companies around still haven't gotten their arms around social, really. I mean, I left in 2009. People were getting in trouble for being on Facebook in the middle of the afternoon, with management. And I remember one manager coming up to me at one point going, hey, that's like literally not allowed. You can't do that. And I'm like, well, that shooting we just had, 2 dead in Minneapolis, and I just got the mom and I got the cousin. You're going to fire me? What are you going to do? I don't understand this, but it's that is a big part of the reality. Where to look, for deep news, and it's a major defunding, right, that is going on in first of all, everything, frankly, but including a lot of the media channels. And a lot of that has to do with just we haven't quite figured out how do we get back to monetizing this in a way that drives more strength.
It's taken 5 years, just for example, and nothing has happened with this so-called George Floyd Square. Nothing has happened. I bet the documentary includes that. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I got to think at some point in the documentary, do you focus on the leftism of the city council at all?
We look at I want to say you're getting to kind of the nut of this thing, and you're getting there fast, and it's not a surprise to me at all. But this is something that I have. First of all, 2 years is what I've
2 years.
2 years, dude.
Wow.
Okay. Year one was started with me in those walk around towns. Okay. And then it was me just figuring out this is probably more than an article.
Right.
Right. And then at about a year point, I actually put together a deck on what I'd learned. And I went around to business organizations in particular because I really think that is the backbone of our society and our vitality, essentially, certainly economically. And I started getting funding from various organizations in this pursuit. And then in the last 6 months of this thing, we've been able to recruit substantial talent into helping me work on this. This core thing that you're getting at, we do get at. We're not really teasing it out terribly at this stage of the game. We're just not. But we've done a ton of work in the space to look at, root cause issues. And
among them would have to be Democratic socialists on the city council who hold business, if not capitalism entirely, in contempt.
That is true.
Well, I mean, how can you rebuild without acknowledging the need for the small businesses?
I got to tell
big
you,
businesses.
Joe, you got to know this. I know you do. So, in this effort to raise capital and to kind of generate interest and awareness, the number of people, the overwhelming share of smart people that I've been talking to. I always use DSA first. I'll use it as an acronym, and almost nobody lets that pass because they're like, wait, what are you talking about? And then I define it, and they're like, so you're talking about, like they don't know what I'm talking about.
Is there this is going to sound odd. Are most people doing so well and are so comfortable they've ignored the city councils of both towns?
I don't know.
Is that possible?
I think it's I want to say it's more than possible. I think that's definitely factually happening.
Well, I can see it on the shore of Lake of the Isles, but I can't see it citywide. I can't see such a comfort that people don't realize what's happening to them.
I'm telling you, they don't.
Jeez Louise.
Rick, one of the things I wanted to ask you, I spoke to Pat Garofalo earlier today, and I know he's featured in this piece because he's going to fill in for Joe tomorrow. And he basically said the biggest thing that's plaguing the state of Minnesota right now is mass migration. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And then who's leaving? If people are so comfortable, who's leaving?
Well,
the people who do know what's going on.
Well, definitely. I mean, they're very clear on why they're leaving. They're very specific. And, we're talking about a situation today. I mean, you look at the last 3 years on record, you're talking about net negative migration tied to wealth, $5 billion exiting the state of Minnesota. Okay, that's net. Okay? I mean, that's net. That's after we account for everything coming in, right? And when you look at, and a lot of people are like, oh, okay, so Rick, really, are you going to sit here and talk to us about net negative migration to Florida and Arizona and Texas? Yeah, we're going to talk about that, but I want you to focus on the net negative 500 million that we lost to Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Quit. Yeah, people might go someplace warmer might make it their home. You look at the challenges list. Obviously, includes a lot of regulatory and tax. I mean, there's no greater flat rate corporate tax in America than what's here. Mm-hmm. I've run into people that I'm talking to here. I swear that have told me that their accountants, have explained to them. They really would be better off if they moved to California. Okay,
oh, God help us!
I'm telling you, that is like literally true, and it is and not only that, but these finance folks are also telling me it is getting tough right now. It is getting very tough because we have come to the conclusion. These are financial advisors saying. We have come to the conclusion we must sit down with our clients and explain to them they will do better almost anywhere else.
And I think what that does, when somebody like Chug Tai and Chowdhury and the rest of these screwballs on the city council hear that, I don't think they care. They don't care.
They do not. They don't. there's documented proof, and you'll see it in this. You will
Good.
see it. It's clear. This isn't, it's not, we're not throwing darts after 2 years here. You know
No,
what I mean?
if it took 2 years, I can't wait. I think it's going to be neat.
And depressing.
Is
Depressing.
it depressing?
I mean, there's a lot of hard truths in here. I told I wrote out in social early, I think first volley on this to say that what I was doing about, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I just said, you know what? Some of this is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's measurable. It's extremely measurable. And either we recognize it, we face it, we strategize for, we think deeply about, is this the way we want to go? Or is this not the way we want to go? And then we act on those things. Here's what I don't know after 2 years. I don't know what this community will do with the information. Okay?
Interesting.
I don't know. I have definitely run into folks who think this new path is the way. We can't find evidence of its success. Okay? We can't find it. We can't get direct answers from some of the participants in it. Where has this worked? Right? It doesn't work.
Meaning democratic socialism.
Where does it work?
What is this something that you spent 1989 to 2009 in the television news business? Are you a native Minnesotan?
No, born in Pennsylvania, raised in Kentucky, and I did a lot of television before I got here.
Okay. Do you think this is something that one of the TV stations should have done? Should they have beaten you to the punch on this? Why was this left to you to do it?
No, who can you give me an example of anybody literally like working today in broadcasting that is given a leash as long as the one that I've taken advantage of?
Well, I mean, I work here so that people will take it with a grain of salt. I can't think of anybody short of maybe a couple of people working for Five, Jay Coles maybe.
Yeah,
but
okay.
it would require them to go in and say, how long is my leash? And I think I'm proposing this and let's do it. And I don't see the TV stations doing it, much less the newspapers aren't doing it.
No.
Was KSTP and ABC the only ones that reached out to you about putting this on their airwaves?
No, I mean, I initiated the conversations with them to be
And
clear,
they were good with it.
and they were very good. Yeah.
So this is ABC affiliates in this state will be running it.
So you've got KSTP,
Right.
Okay, that's the kind of the granddaddy in the whole scheme here,
Right.
And then DIO out of Duluth, KAL. We're also working with Forum in Fargo.
Yep.
WDAY is going to carry this.
Sioux Falls,
And
right?
Sioux Falls as well.
Thought I saw that.
Yeah. So that design is simply to ensure that this hits every Minnesotan or has the opportunity
Right.
to hit every Minnesotan with those western parts of the state as well.
How's your garage door? Do you have a garage door at home?